finish up this portion of guided notes, we're just going to talk briefly about these three processes that are occurring on Earth and how they influence evolution. So the first one is continental drift, and this is just the fact that the continents are constantly moving. You may have heard that at one time there was a supercontinent called Pangaea. Scientists actually believe there have been 3 instances where the movement of the continents on the continental plates as they slide across the surface of the planet have brought all the continents together, and then the movement eventually causes them to break apart again. And scientists are estimating that in about 250 million years we may see them form another supercontinent. And the reason why that continental drift affects evolution or the changing in the species that we see on Earth is because different locations on the globe have different climates, and you're probably really familiar with this. The land masses that are at the poles have cold climates. They don't get direct sunlight like the places around the equator do. They have a much warmer climate with more rain there, and some areas do not have the same amount of rain. And so because of this, you get different habitats at different locations on the globe, and those habitats are better suited for some organisms than others. And so as the continents are moving into new climate zones, then what can survive there changes as a result of that. Scientists know that there have been different periods in Earth's history where a mass extinction has occurred. You're probably most familiar with the one that occurred around the end of the dinosaurs on Earth, and they think that one was due to meteor showers or some kind of collision event on Earth that abruptly changed the climate. Other mass extinctions can occur when any kind of event drastically changes the habitat that the organisms are living in. So you've got the polar bear there, and something that we're watching carefully now is the warming of the polar regions and the melting of the polar ice caps. And this is going to, if that continues to happen, then that is greatly going to impact the diversity of life that has adapted for that climate. Polar bears are dependent on ice to walk on out into new places and to hunt the seals that come up in different places underneath the ice. And so if the food chain is disrupted, it leads to some species going extinct, and then whatever species are dependent on that organism are also affected. This slide just defines what we're talking about when we use the vocabulary mass extinction. This is when a large number of species become extinct at a certain time point on Earth. And so far, by examining the fossil record, Earth history has shown 5 mass extinctions that have been recorded, and many scientists speculate that we're heading toward another one. They kind of happen periodically, but sometimes it's due to random events. And this slide just talks about that a little bit. It says that scientists are questioning whether a 6th mass extinction is underway. Okay, kind of the counterpoint to a mass extinction is an adaptive radiation. And these are periods of change. Move this out of the way. In which, instead of seeing species go extinct, you see a lot of groups of new organisms come into the fossil record. These new organisms are evolving because there's a niche for them to fill. There's maybe a habitat that still has an underrepresentation of species, so there's lots of resources available there, and that would favor the evolution of a new species. And usually you will see a adaptive radiation event occur right after a mass extinction, because when mass extinction occurs, it makes way for new species because the resources in the environment replenish, and there are new jobs in the ecosystem that need to be fulfilled in order to keep the ecosystem functioning and productive. So when one extinction event causes species to die out, then you follow that up with new species evolving. And that's it for this first packet of guided notes in Unit 2. And we'll continue to study this for the next few days, but you should start studying your notes right now, tonight, to prepare for the quiz.